Okay, so great to virtually meet you. I
I
know.
know.
It felt like forever. Oh my goodness. Like literally, I know it's just so much stuff going on, like really so much. But no,
Both very busy, so I'm very grateful.
oh yeah, thank you, of course. So I guess just tell me a little bit about you, just so that we could know who Linda is and get a little bit more.
Well, my name is Linda Peavy, and I am the owner of LaPav Consulting LLC,
Mhm.
which is a marketing, communications, and grant writing organization. This is my 14th year of owning my own business, and we have worked over the last number of years in the marketing communication side with a lot of national clients, from the Miss America organization to the NFL draft to the Biden for President campaign. But I've spent a lot of that time grant writing.
Okay.
Grant writing in the areas, you name it, from education to youth services to veterans organizations. And so over the course of over 13 years now, I've been able to secure over $17 million in funding and business development for organizations.
Yeah, that's good.
And being that, I've had some successes in the area of grant writing, I really wanted to expand my reach, because as an individual grant writer, you can only help so many people.
Right.
And there's such a need out there, such an incredible need for not only nonprofits, but more recently, small businesses. And so I developed a course, and it's called Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals. And so this course was created to really put the power of the pen, in the hands of nonprofits and small businesses, so that they can write their own grants. They can learn how to write grants, learn what the process is, to really be able to help fund their mission and their vision, or who it is that they are serving. And so the course launched last year, and that's really where I spent a lot of my time in terms of LaPav Consulting, is my course, and really, especially helping small business owners that are women-led, because there has been such an incredible surge in small businesses that are led by women. And we know that the funding is needed. The funding is needed desperately, because even though about 30% of all small businesses are led by women, historically, the funding has not been there for us. So we have not been beneficiaries of capital funds, of venture capital, of seed money that is being raised, has not typically gone to women-owned businesses. So it's one of the reasons why I spend a lot of my time in teaching women-owned businesses specifically, how to secure grant funding. And so that's the LaPav Consulting side. My passion, however, and what I eat, sleep, and breathe is my Cultured Curves. And so Cultured Curves is a blog that I founded in 2019, and it is like laser focused on sophisticated style, fashion, and beauty. And I say for curvy women over 50, but it's really just for mature curvy women.
Right.
And I founded it because there is such a gap, even in the plus size market, for mature women. So we know that over the last maybe 5 or 6 years, there's been this huge boom, right, in the plus size industry. So we have plus size women on the covers of Sports Illustrated, and we have plus size women, that's on the cover of your traditionally let's see, on magazines that traditionally do not focus, I have to use my words carefully,
Yeah.
magazines that do not traditionally focus on women with curves.
Right.
And so now we're seeing Lizzo on Vogue, and we're seeing, you know, Ashley Graham on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So there's been this real boom, right? And so even though you have higher visibility for curvy women, which is fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
we're still being left behind. Like people in my demographic, you know, we're not being represented on runways. We're not being represented in ad campaigns. We're not being represented in magazines that really focus on curvy women.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my demographic. Like I'll be 60 next year.
Oh,
So I am like laser focused on women who look like me, who are my age, who are over 50 or even in their late 40s.
right.
And so that's what the blog is about. We're not trying to dress like we're 19, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to dress like we're 19.
Yeah.
So I wanted a place where women could go to learn about style.
Mm-hmm.
Because too often we're expected, you know, we're over 50, so we're just supposed to like sit in a corner and be quiet and just put on like a muumuu or something like and be happy.
Right.
But you know, we are stylish.
Mm-hmm.
We have interests. We are busy. We go out,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to be able to look as stylish as our younger, curvy counterparts. And so the blog speaks to those issues. It teaches you style.
Yes.
It showcases where to go to find sophisticated clothing.
Mm-hmm.
But it also teaches you about your body. It teaches you how to decide what shape you are, which is the first lesson in fit. Like I scream fit. To me, it's all about how clothes fit you.
Right.
And so one of the first things I talk about in the blog, one of my very first blog posts was about deciding what shape you're in. Like, are you a pear shape? Are you an apple shape? Are you a banana shape? Are you hourglass? And from there, deciding,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what clothes best emphasize your particular shape? And so all of that information can be found in the blog, but that's not the only thing that the blog talks about. The blog is also an avenue for increasing self-esteem, for body positivity, because we know that there are issues with self-esteem for women who are curvy. And so I do have posts that really talk about loving what you see in the mirror. It doesn't mean glorifying obesity. It means whatever journey you're on, it has to start with love. Like whatever change you want to make to your body, it has to start with love and not hate. And looking in the mirror and hating what you see is the worst possible place to start.
Right.
And so I talk about, you know, the importance of embracing what you have. You certainly, you can be on a journey towards weight loss or whatever to get healthier, but you still want to love what you look in the mirror, love what you see in the mirror, and then move forward. And so the blog also is inspirational and motivational, and provides posts that really help us to feel good about where we are, no matter where we are.
Correct. And you can hear me fine, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I don't know, I think my computer's tripping, but I definitely, and I was just making little notes here just to, you know, elaborate. But I totally agree. And I think that, and I know I stated before on my show that as women get older, I think the world get complacent that just because you're an adult, that you're a woman, that, oh yeah, you just accept, you're okay, you're happy. Your body's changing. You no longer look like what you're 30. You know, you're 40. You're 40 don't look like you're 50. And you're starting to pick up color in your hair that you don't want. You know, you start picking up a change that you don't want. So altogether, it does affect the self-esteem, you know, that affect our insecurity. Yeah, I know at some point we learn how to mask it, but in reality and truth, within is killing us. Because again, like you stated, there's no true representation to show that. Yeah, we may have Lizzo far as plus, but we don't have any woman that's like 50 plus who's really loving the skin that she's in.
I mean,
you know,
really, we don't. I mean, I think of people, I think Queen Latifah, I think she's in her late 40s, I believe. So
I think she's over 50 now.
She's over 50.
50.
She's been an ambassador, definitely. But you can probably count on one hand the number of women who are over 50
Yeah.
who say, look, here I am. I'm curvy. I'm over 50. I feel good about myself. I'm not going in a closet to hide. I
Yeah.
want to be able to look good. I want to wear fashionable clothes. And the issue of self-esteem is there every day because we are literally bombarded with unrealistic images on magazine covers of what we should attain to be,
Right.
or what we should emulate. And it used to be magazine covers. Now it's social media. Now it's Instagram. Now
Right.
it's these avenues that place before us things that aren't real.
Right.
But yet we're supposed to, and some of us are literally killing ourselves to look that way with very dangerous surgeries. And so, it is important. And I was speaking with a friend of mine who's in her 60s, and she's a size 6. She's always been a size 6. She's never changed. She said, you know what, Linda? She said, you may not know it, but I resonate with what you say because I'm a 60-year-old size 6. I'm not a 19-year-old size 6. And my size 6 at 60 years old looks very different than my size 6 when I was 19. So she said, I get what you're saying. And so it's something that women, we have to contend with like every single day. And so my mission is to really let women know, let mature women know that you are valued, that you look great, that you may just want to look at a couple of different ways in which you dress to make yourself feel better, because many women that I hear from, and they email me, they say, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to buy clothes for my size. I don't know where to shop. I want to look better, but I don't know how. And so I try to show women that sometimes it's just little tweaks that you can do, but there's some basics that you need, like deciding what size shape your body is, to know, what do I buy that really is going to look best on my particular shape, or, what can I do to increase the moisture in my skin, or, where can I go to shop that is going to fit my aesthetic, that's not going to be for someone who's half my age. And so I try to really address all of that in the blog. Plus, I do travel like all over the country to give body positivity workshops.
Okay.
I'm giving one in St. Martin in a few months because people.
It's in October,
In October, right? Because people want to hear it. And this is interesting because this is at a health and wellness event, right? And some people may think, well, you're plus size, like, what are you doing speaking at a health and wellness event? But it goes back to what you said before, that you can be a size 6 and absolutely hate what you see when you look in the mirror. Like, I hear this from women all the time. And so loving oneself and self-esteem and self-love and body positivity transcends size or age. And so it is important for me to share with women that, yes, be on a health journey, absolutely, be on a journey towards health and wellness. But while you're in the midst of it, you don't have to hate who you are. You don't have to hate what you see in the mirror because your body happens to have more fat cells than the person next to you. It doesn't, that's not who you are, right? That's not, I read one saying, I think I got it from Pinterest or off of the internet somewhere, and it said, don't call yourself fat because that's not what you are. You may have fat cells, but fat does not represent the whole of who you are. They were saying, like, you have fingernails, but you don't call yourself fingernail. Like, you have fingernails, but you don't say I'm fingernail. So you have fat. So you just have to find ways that just encourage people to feel good about themselves. And sometimes that can be through hair or makeup or makeovers, or just letting them know that, you know what? Yes, you have roles. Yes, you have cellulite, but you know what? So does the majority of other women. Like the average woman now in America is a size 16. So you are not alone. This is not a prescription for you to hate yourself because you have cellulite roles.
Yeah, and I think it's just really just a reevaluating who you are. And I know we teach young girls about affirmations, but older women have to have that. It's constantly a self-thought, a self-taught, and self-thinking, and it's pouring back into the atmosphere that you are beautiful, you are kind, you are worthy, you are enough. But when you say it, then it starts to receive. You have to believe that.
You have to
And
absolutely believe it. Absolutely.
yeah, and it takes time, because no matter, and again, it goes back to say, society think just because you're a woman you could take everything. And then of course is even worse, the color of our skin puts us in a category, so it makes life even harder. And some things you want to teach young girls, you can't, because that's just part of life. I can't teach you everything because I'm battling things as well. I'm telling
Right.
you things, but trying to teach and mask, because I know you stated about, like shape. Some women at a certain age can determine what their shape is. Like, how do you go about explaining to a woman who's, now 50, who was in their 30s, they was probably a size 12 and now a size 16. And it's like, whoa, my shape, they don't know how to, address the shape. They don't know how to take in this shape, because they constantly beating themselves up mentally and physically, like, okay, I got to work out, but things are not working. So how do you go about telling them what shape they are, and how to, to basically love their new shape? Because sometimes at the end of the
A
day,
couple of things.
mhm,
There's a couple of things. I am a firm believer in affirmation. So
yeah,
during my workshops, there's a whole section on affirmations, and words have power. And it's one of the reasons why when we hear hurtful words, they seep in, right?
yeah,
And they can ruin our entire day if we let it, because
yeah,
words have power. Well, we need to more often change that narrative and provide those affirmations to ourselves. And I often give a list of affirmations
mhm,
that women can say to themselves, like every day if they have to get in your head that you are worthy, because the
yeah,
world is telling you something different because you're older and you're
mhm,
plus size. The world is telling you that you're not as valued, that you're not as worthy. And so those affirmations become important. Now, also in terms of shape, one of the first things I have women do is measure themselves
okay,
and decide, are you an apple shape? Are you a pear shape? Are you a banana? Or are you an hourglass? Those are the four main shapes. And what happens for some women, they may have an hourglass shape when they're 19, but you know what? When they get older, they have a thicker waist area, which makes them an apple, and they don't know what to do with that. They think,
correct,
okay, well, because I have a larger stomach, I can't find anything that fits. Or like me, I'm a pear shape. I'm very heavy on the bottom. Or and they'll think, well, my butt is so big, like nothing is going to cover this and make me look good because I have a smaller waist and I have a bigger butt. And so what I show them is that determine based on your measurements what your body shape is. And
mhm,
from there, you can find clothes that are complementary specifically to your body shape. Just because you're thick around the middle or just because you're thick around the hips does not mean that all clothes are, completely out of the question for you to wear.
mhm,
There are some clothing they're just made to look better on women with an hourglass shape.
mhm,
There are other clothes that are made to fit better for women who are thicker around the middle and who have an apple shape. And the issue is we're still trying to dress that 19-year-old body.
yeah,
We're still trying to dress the shape that we were 30, 40, 50 years ago, but we
mhm,
have to address what we have because it is still beautiful,
mhm,
and know how to shop for clothes that make us look absolutely fabulous. Because regardless of your shape, whether you're apple, pear, hourglass, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
You can look absolutely fabulous in your clothes. And so I share that with women. But
mhm,
so much of the work has to be internal because, again, we're just bombarded with these images to say that
yeah,
we're less than. And so the affirmations are important,
mhm,
finding out your body shape, and then shopping accordingly. Because once you start to shop according to your body shape, and you start finding clothes that you look absolutely fabulous in,
Mhm.
then you will no longer have the excuse that, oh, I'm in apple shape, so I can't find anything to fit.
Right.
Or I have this big behind, I have this big butt, I can't find anything to fit it. Look for clothes that fit that particular body shape better. And so I lay that out in my blog. Like I have an entire blog that's like my number one post that like ranks number one on Google that everybody goes to. And it talks about finding your body shape, body size, and then dressing according to it, because it completely changes women's perspectives of their body, because they think just because I don't have that body from 30 years ago, whatever I put on is going to look horrible. And it's not. It's just about teaching about this new body that you have, but first loving the new body that you have, and then teaching ways that you can shop to make it look absolutely fabulous as you did when you were, 20, 30 years ago. So the age is not what's making a difference. Is this internalization that somehow you're less than, which unfortunately, can seep into so many other avenues of our life.
And you may have stated, but where did the passion come from? And incorporating and wanting to build women, which is phenomenal, in order to build a woman, not only her external, but her internal.
I have been plus size since the second grade.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all I know. I've never been a quote unquote normal size woman or child. I mean, literally in the second grade, I was an overweight child. And so this has been my entire life. And so when I was younger, I'm one of 8 children. Okay. And so when I was younger, there weren't clothes for chubby kids. I call them sponge clothes. Everything was made out of sponge material. Everything was that ridiculous looking polyester with the holes in it that allowed the material to breathe. And it was just like you were wearing a sponge everywhere you went. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that was my life. That was my life. And so as I grew up, I mean, I was still plus size. I lost a little bit of weight when I went to college, but I was still, I've always been plus size.
Right.
But it's interesting because it was only once I began to turn 50, once I started to approach the age of 50, that I started to realize that I could help other women. Because when I became an adult, as a plus size adult, I was an executive in my work. So I had to fly all over the world. And so I was always the biggest person in the room. Typically, I was always the only woman, almost always the only Black person. But being almost always the biggest person in the room, I had to represent. So I had to find clothes that's going to look fabulous on me, because there's always been this misnomer that if you're heavy set and you're a Black woman, somehow you're lazy or you don't work, or this, these unfortunate staples that are put upon us that just isn't true. So I felt the need that wherever I traveled around the world, I was going to represent. So they never saw a fly, heavy set executive woman. They were going to see one today.
Right.
And so that was the beginning of it. And so even throughout my total adult life, after I started, my career, I always received compliments, compliments, because I was, to this day, like I won't go get the mail without being like fully dressed. And so this is how I've lived my life. So I always receive compliments on hair, makeup, clothes, whatever, regardless of my size.
Right.
And I'm thinking, you know what, once I turn 50, it's like, I want to channel like all of these positive vibes that I've gotten my entire life to help other women. Like I've been on the receiving side of hearing from people compliment me on my clothes. I want other women to feel what I felt all these years of telling you, oh, where did you get this outfit? Does it come in my size? I mean, regardless, because keep in mind, I've always been plus size. And so I just wanted to somehow help other women feel the same way about themselves. And so that's really what started Cultured Curves, is that I wanted to really help women who were older, to know that just because you're mature
Hmm.
does not mean you have to give up on yourself.
Correct.
And that's what I saw too often. And so I took like years and years and years of me being this plus size executive woman
Hmm.
and tried to roll that into something that could be helpful to to other women. And also I tell you, once you turn 50, there is a freedom that you experience that you just have a different way of seeing things. And again, I just wanted to share my experiences
Yeah.
of being a lifelong plus size woman,
Hmm.
with women who would listen, with women who wanted advice, and who would, be willing to look at a post and read about something that would be beneficial to them, whether it's clothing or whether it's increasing self-esteem, whether it's makeup. And so that's really where the passion started. Like this is something I could talk about like all day long. I could talk about plus size fashion and hair, makeup. Like I've always been a girly girl, like
Hmm.
always.
Right, right.
And so this is just like this, I could do this forever for sure.
Now, do you recommend a stylist if someone were to say, "Hey, I really tried and I can't, put any pieces
Absolutely.
together"? Hmm.
Absolutely, because some women don't know what style they have.
Uh-huh.
They know what they like, they know what they're comfortable with, but
Hmm.
they don't know necessarily that that represents a style. Like some women don't like dresses, like they're just more comfortable in pants, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what their style is. But they need to take that and then, be a little bit flexible, right?
Mhm.
But absolutely, I think stylists are great to bring out maybe things that are hidden, and you may not even know you could wear dresses because you
Yeah.
always thought, oh, I'm big, my hips are too big. I don't want to put
Yeah.
on a dress, so I don't like my legs, and there's no way I'm going to let anybody see my ankles. And then you have a professional to work with you and to let you see that you can look absolutely fantastic in a dress. So I love stylists. I
Yeah.
highly recommend them, especially for women who just don't know. Like they know they need help, but they
Yeah.
don't know where. um, some women like casual clothes. It's like that's their thing, but
Hmm.
you can look absolutely great and have a predominantly casual um, wardrobe. You just need
Oh
help
yeah.
in making a few tweaks and a few decisions.
Hmm.
And another reason a stylist is really important, which I've written a post about this,
Hmm.
it's all about the need to purge. So
Hmm.
we hang on way too often to old clothes.
Yeah.
And the old clothes may be sizes that we were able to fit like 5 years ago. I was like, I'm going to keep that because I'm going to get back in that size 6. Well, even if you do get back in this, and this is what I had to tell myself too, because I used to have a closet full of like 4 or 5 different sizes. Even if I get back into a size 6, which I personally actually don't want to, but even if I get to that size 6, I'm going to buy a new wardrobe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to buy a new wardrobe. I'm not going to go back to something that I had 2 years ago, which is probably not in style any longer.
Hmm.
And so the stylist will help you to purge your closet.
Yeah.
And I recommend women do that every single year, like make 3 different piles. Like, this is what I'm donating. This
Hmm.
is what I'm taking to a consignment shop. This is what I want to keep, right? But it needs some adjustments. I need to maybe tweak it. And then this is what I'm keeping, because I think it's so important to really shred what is in the past.
Right.
And getting rid of old clothes will help women do that. And a stylist will help them with that process of shredding, what's old and what just doesn't even fit them anymore.
Yeah. Because some people just want to hang on, and and as women get older, there are just some staple pieces that one should keep. Is there any staple pieces that you recommend that women do keep? Because there's some things that just don't go out of style that you should have on hand.
Like I think every woman needs like a great hat.
Mhm.
Like I'm a hat person. And I think because it totally changes an outfit. It doesn't matter I went out, I was on a boat this weekend, and I had on just like a white, oversized, like little cape blouse and just a pair of black pants, but I had on a bad hat. I had on like this really great hat. And so I get all these compliments, and I know it wasn't necessarily because I had on the outfit, because it was just a black and white outfit, but I
Mhm.
had on a great hat. So I recommend everyone to have a great hat. And hats to me don't go out of style, because you can wear a hat from the 50s that look absolutely fabulous
Oh
on you
yeah.
now. So
Oh
a
yeah.
great hat, as you mentioned, I think every woman needs like that. I don't call it little, but a great black dress.
Yeah.
A great, but most of all, it needs to fit, like a
Yeah.
great fitting black dress. I think every woman needs a great pair of kitten heel shoes,
Mhm.
because look, we're older. Like I can't even wear 2-inch heels. Like kitten heels, I love them, but I think every woman needs a pair of just great low heel shoes,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And because that's seasonless, it's timeless. Um, I think accessories are so important. So I'm all about using accessories to really jazz up an outfit. So I think every woman needs like that great hat, that great pair of kid heel shoes, a great black dress, and a great handbag.
I agree, because especially with, I know we don't want to say the LBD little black dress, because it's no longer little, but that black dress definitely is a great staple piece because that's universal. You could add
Universal.
you could wear a cardigan with it. You could wear it with a simple jean jacket. You could dress it up, dress it down.
You can dress it
That,
up or dress it down, and that's what's key, because I mean
mhm.
you can literally dress it up and dress it down. You can put a jean jacket on with it, right, and be casual, and you
Uh-huh.
can put on a pair of pearls and be ready to go to, out to dinner. So
Yep. And at a blazer, you go into a meeting. It definitely houses great pieces. So I definitely agree with that. And, you know, a great pair of khakis for me, you know, because there's just those staple pieces that I have myself that definitely I can use in multiple ways when needing something or have to go, even I'm volunteering or doing community service. I definitely like those certain pieces, but definitely my black dress, I probably have like five, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And
well,
it
that's
has a
good though. I mean, that's because when you buy something that looks great on you, you want to buy multiples of it. Excuse me. And also for me, I'm a pearl person. So like a little strand of, I saw your pearls. So to me, that little strand of pearls, it just says professional. I
Mhm.
don't care what you're doing. You could literally have on a sweater and a pair of jeans and just a little pair of pearls. And
Mhm.
it just, to me, it's just so classy.
Yeah.
Um, that to me
As
speaks
far
volumes.
as like for my accessories, I'm probably the only one who wear pearls 365, 24 hours, 7 days.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like hanging their earrings only time unless I'm working with the stylist or I'm doing a fashion show, then I will wear it. But if you see me, everything of mine, you will see either this or purple, but it will be a pearl. It's just, I am not a fan because, my neck is not long and I don't want the thing hanging, my earrings, they dangling. And it's just, it's a capture piece,
And
when
see,
people,
I absolutely, like, people know me to be a pearl person. I love my pearls. I love my
yes,
pearls.
I love studs, anything stud, but 9 times out of 10, you will always see me with a pearl, definitely. Because there are just some jewelry pieces that I just feel like I'm naked if I don't have it on. And this
Okay.
is definitely one that I could look busted, but if I have my earrings on, I call me Queen Elizabeth.
And that's great, because you see what you said was so important, because sometimes there are little things that just make you feel great.
Yes.
And for you, it's like, give me my pair of pearls. It's like, I'm ready for anything. Just give me my pair of pearls. And but that's good. So every woman needs to like have that. Like every woman needs to have that one little thing that they put it on, and they're just, it transforms them in their day. So
Yeah.
I think that's great.
And this is it. Like this and my crown, my
They look
hair.
great.
I think those two definitely, if they're together, I can I can rain, mud. I can look like I just came from doing
There you
construction work.
go. There you go.
My
That
hair
is
and everything.
fantastic to hear. Like, there you go. Absolutely. I think it's
So
important.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But you made me think about something else, like in
Uh-huh.
terms of things that women really need to consider, that, and this is one area that I don't think women in particular consider its importance enough, and that is wearing the right underwear. Because for me, wearing the right underwear can make or break an outfit. I mean, there are some dresses that are made to be worn with a strapless bra. There are some dresses that are made for women literally with a smaller chest. So if you have a larger chest, you need to have on the right support system to make sure those girls are up there based on what you're wearing, right? Based on what you're wearing. I mean, there are some women that go braless, that God bless them, but based on what you wear in the outfit you wear, your undergarments can really make or break an outfit. So I think that's another area where a stylist is tremendously helpful.
Yeah, and I think the undergarments is definitely key, because that could really make a beautiful outfit, break it to the T, like, oh my goodness. And the heavy chested you are, yes, you're going to pay for the right bra. Walmart bras are not going to work.
Walmart bras are not going to work. I did an interview with a lady her name is Lori, and she's called the Bra Fairy. And her store carries hundreds of sizes of bras, but they also custom make bras. So that was one post that I did, because I often get a question from women who are very large chested, who are like cup I's and cup J's and cup K's and cup M's. And they have no clue where to go, because like you said, you can't go to Walmart.
Yeah.
And so I do have a post in my blog that is strictly for women who are very heavy chested, as to where they can go to find bras, because that's a real issue. And especially the ones that don't have the normal cup size that you can get in a store. And like you said, you're probably going to pay for it, because they tend to be a little pricey, but women just don't know where to go. But yes, I mean, that is very important.
They don't know where to go. And then too, they don't know how to verbalize the type of bra, because some people probably don't want to, some outfits don't require the full cup. They want to plunge,
Right.
They just don't know how to verbalize it until when they get the outfit, they realize, oh, I can't hide this bra because I need a bra. And of course, I know times have changed where they added where you could do like the taping. The tape does not require for big breasts. I hate to say it, because your breast is going to take over in time, and it's going to start hanging like an elephant trunk. So you have to invest in some great bras. I am a firm believer, even though I haven't tried. I would never try those type when they try to get you to wear the duct tape to go over your bra. I said,
I haven't seen any, like the commercials. Typically, I mean, the women, you'll see some women with maybe a C cup.
Yeah.
Some of them may have a D cup, but most of them are C cup or smaller. But the issue is, once you're not going to just put it on and stand still, right? Because as soon as you start moving around and you start your day, those girls are going to do exactly what they want to do, and it's going to have nothing to do with tape. Correct. So yeah, I always recommend getting fitted for an appropriate bra based on what it is that you're going to wear.
And then too, I think just taking consideration what outfits you like to wear, so that you have the undergarments, because you probably have to go buy the undergarments for it. But just think about what you're going to wear. If you know that you don't have such a thin bra strap for a spaghetti dress, and you're not going to wear a cardigan or something, think about that, because the undergarment can take away from the outfit. And we've seen it plenty of times. They
absolutely can. And there are strapless bras that are available for women with larger cups. So I think that just needs to be a consideration. I don't know if it's a consideration enough, just based on my observations and where I go. And I can go to like maybe a more upscale place or theater or a dinner, and I see the same thing. It's like people aren't wearing the appropriate undergarments, and it can absolutely make or break an outfit. Absolutely.
And it goes back to where society thinks women should know. And a lot of women don't know just the simple things, it's just the simplest things, because it just haven't been passed down and have not been presented to them. in any form or fashion. So they do not know. And some people don't know to change your bra according to time. They change it probably once in a blue moon, whenever that moon is. Even even your underwear, you know?
Yeah, I just can't quite imagine that. I mean, but it goes back to what it really does go back to something you said about them not being taught.
Mhm.
Like I'm old school.
Yeah.
My mother was old school. I was one of four girls. We were taught a certain way. Like we were taught by my mother, God rest her soul, that if we left the house, we had to look a certain way.
Mhm.
And so we were taught about underwear and how often you change your underwear and having a bra that fits
Mhm.
and having different bras. So that was drilled in us, right?
Yeah.
But again, I had old school parents, right? And so I think some of that, not all of it, because I don't like to generalize different generations,
Mhm.
but I think too often some of it is lost on a younger population based on what I see.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I'm old school. Like this is what I know,
Mhm.
and so I passed this down. Me and my sisters, we passed this down to our nieces. That yes, you look a certain way. There's certain underwear that you need,
Mhm.
based on what you're going to wear that particular day. And this is what you do. And
Mhm.
so I think that a lot of it is a lack of education
Oh
because,
yeah.
like you said, some of these girls, they simply don't know.
Yeah.
They really don't know.
And they're being definitely diluted with social media. So they don't know if they're coming or going, what's right, what's wrong. I I don't know the guy name, but he was doing a speech, and his speech went that the grandfather worked so hard that his son, well, the great grandfather worked hard so that his son was able to work, but was able to get. So the son, he instilled into his son, the grandfather, and the grandfather instilled into his son. And he was able to get, let's say, a Ferrari. Now, this father here has everything because the grandfather instilled into his son. Now the son has a younger son. Now this son is starting all over again, back at the crisis. Basically, we work so hard to get what we want, and we instill into our child, but we don't teach them the right way, how to have perseverance, how to work for it. We just give, and then now the vicious cycle start back over again. And in the sense here, we was taught, but now we don't pass that learning down. And in between, different things are coming, like social media. When you're trying to teach your child, social media says this, says that. So it's really hard just to really instill in certain things that a young lady should know about their own self, and how to have a strong mental, a mental and physical, because they're being diluted with everything that's going around them because of, like yourself, like you said, you're old school. So there's some things that children wasn't privy to. Now you have third graders who are asking questions that's like, huh? And you really, again, diluting their mind, taking away their innocence, and just really pouring out different things that shouldn't be there. So when you should be teaching them, here they are, learn about something that should have been way, probably like 10 years from now. Not saying that they shouldn't know, but it shouldn't come from that avenue. And now it puts them in a different arena. So a
I
lot of
think
girls, uh-huh.
I think the um, the sphere of influence is different.
Hmm.
Whereas before it was what your parents said. You did what your mother said, what
Hmm.
your mother told you to do. You did what your father told you to do. Now the influence is social media.
Hmm.
Like these girls are trying to
Everywhere.
emulate who they see on social media, which most of it, so much of it, not most of it, so much of it isn't real. It's like people live lives on social media that have nothing to do with their reality.
Yeah.
Is what you want them to see. Like every day is a glorious day, and every day is happy, and every day they're just in la la land, and they look absolutely fabulous, and the world is their oyster. When in reality, they're suffering from depression,
Yeah.
right? They may hate themselves, they may hate their friends, they may not have a lot of friends, they may have social media,
Yeah.
followers, but that doesn't equate to friends.
Correct.
But because the influence now has shifted from the home to social media, something that so much of it isn't real,
Yeah.
they're not getting it. They see what these girls wear in very specific environments. Like they see like what you can wear in Hollywood or in some of these places are very different than what you'll get away with if you try to wear it at your local mall.
Yeah.
But they see it and they think, oh, but that's wonderful. That looks great. And it's totally different than what their reality is. But because, again, the person that is influencing their style, their belief system
Hmm.
is in an environment that isn't based on reality, it's unfortunate. And a lot of them, they don't get it. And if their mothers or their fathers are trying to tell them something, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear what they have to say. All
Yeah.
they know is this is what XYZ is doing on social media. And I saw her Instagram page and she doesn't have on a bra, or that's who they're emulating. And unfortunately, is for them, it's not steeped in reality.
Yeah. And to add to that, it's just, and as well as women in their 50s are emulating that. They're trying to, instead of them keeping the torch and running, it's like, should I held back? Should I go? I know they're battling with that because we see it on social media. It's like, aren't you supposed to be not home, but like exploring the world, not hanging out? And again, it's your life, don't get me wrong, but it speaks volume. It
It
really
speaks
speaks volume.
volumes. It speaks volumes as well. I think part of the issue is, and we see, I think a lot of mature women on Instagram somehow trying to relive their teen years or their 20s instead of embracing
Mhm.
who they are, embracing their age, embracing the wisdom that comes with age. They're trying to live vicariously through somebody on social media,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or, as I mentioned before, too often, because this is such a youth dominated world,
Hmm.
they don't want to see one wrinkle on their face.
Yeah.
Or because their butt isn't the same shape as it was when they were 20, they want to go under the knife.
Yeah.
And look, if you want to have surgery, that's up to you. But some of these women are dying because they're
Mhm.
going to unskilled, inexperienced doctors to have a butt lift or to have, this type of reconstructive surgery done because we too often buy in to
Mhm.
this myth that youth is better. Like if we don't look young, we are not worthwhile. If
Yeah.
we are not trying to look like we're in our 20s, we're not worthwhile. Instead of embracing everything that comes with age,
Mhm.
embrace that wrinkle, embrace that the wisdom that you spent the last 50, 60 years developing,
Yeah.
instead of pouring that into some other person, some other young person, pouring that wisdom into someone, we're trying to emulate them,
Yeah.
right? And so that's what so much of the issue is. But again, it goes back to us being inundated as women in our 50s and 60s with these images everywhere we go that youth matters. And as I mentioned earlier, even within the plus size industry, unfortunately, it's no different. And that is
Yeah.
what I think is so challenging to me, that in this industry that has historically been discriminated against, we are choosing to then discriminate women who are older. So this sense of ageism is alive and well, even within the plus size industry,
Yeah.
because we don't want to put women who look like me on a runway. We don't want to put women who are over 50 and plus size, even if that's our market. Like there are some retail stores that the women who are in their 50s, that's their market.
Mhm.
But yet they use models in their magazines who are in their 20s.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. So I will like always be an advocate for embracing women,
Mhm.
um, what they bring to the table every year that they've lived on this earth, because it stands for something and it means something.
Oh yeah.
And I want to see us represented. Plus, our disposable income is far greater than our youthful counterparts, like far greater. And even that doesn't seem to be enough for like advertisers to say, well, can I just throw in one curvy woman over 50, every other campaign? Can we at
Yeah.
least like see some level of representation.
But
So I
and then
just
see
continue
them,
to
but
write
not
that.
spot see them. Meaning that you put them in there and it's like a quick second. No, seconds matter in media.
Right.
So not
Absolutely.
for a spot. Like even when they have plus, they would say, hey, okay, we got plus, we put you guys in there, but it's like for a spot. And you're like, oh, if you blink, you miss. So
Exactly. Exactly.
that's not representation. I just want to let y'all know
Exactly.
that's not representation. That's just satisfying a need to say we're inclusive, we're inclusive and we're no, you're not. No, no. Everyone deserves it should be a fair against the board, but when the funds are not running your way, you could dictate how you want to play the game, I guess. Because that's basically what it is. You own the media, you own the network, you dictate what you see and what you want to
Exactly.
put out. And
And it's not even representative of society, because again, the average woman is plus size.
yeah,
It's not even representative of society. So yeah, it's definitely unfortunate.
yeah, 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 definitely. So Lynn, this was very good. I enjoyed this very much.
Good.
Anything else you would like to,
Yes,
add?
there is. So I am writing a book. The
Okay.
book is about all things plus size style for mature curvy women.
Mhm.
It's called The Culture Curves Guide to Style for Mature Curvy Women. And it's in the works right now. I've almost finished writing it. So I
Okay.
would advise anyone to go to my Culture Curves blog and just sign up for the newsletter.
Okay.
And they will be put on the email so that they will know about this book as soon as it's available. So I would just encourage people to sign up to culturecurves.com, go onto the website, sign up for the mailing list, and they will be one of the first people to know, when the book is available and ready. And I will be talking about all things style and
Awesome.
fashion and makeup and beauty and absolutely self-esteem as well.
Awesome. That's phenomenal. Now I know you said you did workshops. Like what does your workshop consist of? Like and how often do
So
you
I provide body positivity workshops pretty much whenever someone wants me to be able to talk to a group
gotcha?
of women. And so I do go through um, really what is important to embrace what you see in the mirror. I talk about body positivity. I talk about what it takes to get to the point where you love what you see and why that's important. I talk about, historically, what we've been through in this culture as a society that absolutely still discriminates against women who are plus size. But it's all about instilling self-esteem. So the audiences that I have, sometimes there's plus size women there, sometimes there are not, because again, I talk about self-esteem and body positivity regardless of your size. And it really helps you to embrace who you are. But also I talk about style, and I talk about the importance of, accessorizing your wardrobe, determining what style you have. And then if you want additional sessions, you can always meet with me one-on-one. But the workshops really are geared towards, helping women to embrace who they are, but also to help them embrace their style
Mhm.
and get to where they love what they see, but they know how to dress themselves as well. Kind of,
Awesome.
take their style up a notch.
Okay, phenomenal. That's good to hear. Definitely. So,
And so again, anyone can go to the website at culturecurves.com,
mhm.
or they can send me an email, Linda@culturecurves.com, if they want me to speak to an audience, or if they want to learn more about the book, or just learn more about Culture Curves, or if they want to collaborate. I'm all for collaboration.
You're right.
I work with a number of different brands in terms of affiliates that
Okay.
um, I highlight on the website. So definitely Linda at culturecurves.com if they want to know more about me and the blog and the upcoming book.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Linda. I truly appreciate you. And definitely we'll have this written up for July so that this piece will be written up for July.
Okay, so this will
So
be so when do you anticipate it releasing? Because I don't know if I'll have like a structure for the book to be made available so that people can order it by the time the magazine releases. I would love to have that, but I don't know if I'm going to have that in time. Do you have any idea about when you think it will
well,
release?
yeah, the magazine's released at the first of every month.
Oh, okay.
First of every month. I know sometimes our editor allow us to add pieces into, if we're working on something, we need extension, then we
Okay,
can insert it, because since now she went full blown online, but she really like to have everything for the first of the month, so that, could just be an easy flow for when people go in, and because sometimes when you go, you may not go back, so they may not see your piece. So this will be written up for July 1st.
okay, all
Mhm.
right.
And
Well,
I'm
if there's any way I can get in, if there's any way I can get a link to you where people can pre-order the book, I'll do that. But if not,
okay.
don't worry about it. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful.
Thank
I
you.
love the magazine. I think it's really, it's an awesome way to represent who we are. It's so much about just love. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I love it. It's so much about like loving who we are, like right now.
Mhm.
And so I feel so honored to be a part of it.
Thank you. I know it took a little while, but we finally made it. Definitely.
No, this is fine. It was good to talk with you. If you have any other follow-up questions,
Oh yeah.
definitely send me an email and I can just, I can write up some answers. Anything else that you want to add, if you see
Okay.
that there's something that you want to include.
Yeah, and definitely I will, once I finish writing up the piece, I will probably just ask for like 2 or 3 photos
Oh,
that you would like
sure.
to have in the magazine, so that we're not choosing it. We want to make sure. And I want to say probably do like on a drop, like a we file,
Oh,
or
yeah, I can put it in a Dropbox
okay,
or Google, whatever you want, that's
okay,
fine.
perfect.
And then I just want to make sure you have all of the ways that people can contact me, like my Instagram page and my YouTube
Mhm.
channel and things like that. So that if people want to
Perfect.
connect with me, they'll be able to do that.
Perfect. And I'll make sure I add that in. Probably once I finish the piece out.
Right.
If you could text it to me, and this bit recording, you will email it to me.
Okay, so email you.
Yeah. You could just email this to me, and then I could go back, because I will start working on it tomorrow.
Okay,
Just to let my mind digest how, what format I want to go in, and then
right.
have it set up.
And then
Mhm.
you'll let me know when to send you the pictures, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Correct. You could just probably have them pre-ready, so
Okay,
that when I'm finished with the piece, I could just send everything to her. So you're just not ready, but it's up to you. No rush on the pictures.
okay,
Um,
okay.
but like I said, I will start working on this tomorrow, so it would just take a little time. Normally it doesn't take long, but I just like to make sure take my time when writing my piece.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
This
you. I
has been so
appreciate you, Linda.
good.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And
And that
hopefully,
was my email. I put into the chat. So
oh,
you look
let me make
first.
sure I have that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Into the chat here or Facebook.
Messenger. I
Oh,
could put it
Facebook
here.
Messenger. Okay, I have it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll put inside.
Okay, good, good, good.
Mhm.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. And so I will end this and then I will send you a link to the recording. So you'll have
Perfect. Okay.
it. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ojor. I
Thank
so
you, Linda.
appreciate this. I really do.
Of
I'm
course. Thank
so,
you.
so honored to be in
Thanks
the
for
magazine.
sharing.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good
All right.
evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.